So welcome student. So this is the another class of the surface chemistry. So in this class we will read what is colloids, different types of colloids and classification of colloids. Okay. So in the beginning I told in the surface chemistry we will read three types of concept. One is adsorption, second one is catalysis and third one is colloid. So in the first and second video we have completed what is adsorption, then next is what is catalysis, then this is the third class that is colloid. Okay. So first, what do you mean by colloid or colloidal solution? So in the earlier class, in the lower class you have read that is colloidal solution. So what do you mean by colloidal solution? The solution seems to be homogeneous but actually heterogeneous in nature. Yes or no? Suppose milk, it seems to be homogeneous to our eye. Okay, so milk is a colloidal solution. So that's why what is colloidal solution? The solution which seems to be homogeneous but actually heterogeneous in nature. This is called a colloidal solution. So in the standard 9 you have read one is true solution, another one is suspension and another one is colloidal solution. True solution means when sodium chloride dissolved in water, the particles are completely dissolved, the particles are very small and it cannot be seen our naked eye. That's why this is called a true solution. And what is suspension? Suspension, suppose muddy water, yes or no? Flood water. So these are suspension. In suspension, particle size is very big and the particle size is visible to our naked eye. So these two you have read. And what is colloidal solution? The colloidal solution seems to be homogeneous, actually heterogeneous in nature. This is called the colloidal solution. Clear? And in colloidal solution, that is one is called solute and another one is called solvent. So one is called solute and another one is called solvent. Clear? So that solute and solvent, here it is called dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Clear? So dispersed phase and another one is called dispersion medium. So solvent is called dispersion medium and solute is called dispersed phase. Clear? So in colloid the particle size lies between 10 to the power minus 9 meter to 10 to the power minus 6 meter. So the particle size lies between these two. Clear? So first part is colloids are how many types? On the basis of physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium, yes or no? So colloidal solution, you see these are broadly classified into three types. First is on the basis of physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay. Then second one is nature of interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. And third one is particle size. Okay. So we'll read detail about this. So on the basis of particle size, we will read that colloids are of three types. That is macromolecular, multimolecular and associated colloids. So later on we will read. Similarly, on the basis of nature of interaction, colloids are of two types. One is called lyophilic and another one is called lyophobic. Philic and phobic. That thing also we will read detail. So first we will read on the basis of physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium, colloids are of 8 types. Colloidal solutions are of 8 types. So here you see that table also given in the book. So dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So dispersed phase is solid, liquid, gas. You can ask, sir, in solution also we have read this thing. Solution we have read 9 types. Solution is completely homogeneous in nature, but here it is 8 types because gas never be heterogeneous in nature. So gas always homogeneous. That's why gas is not in colloid. So here solid, liquid, gas, solid, liquid. So where dispersed phase is solid, dispersion medium is also solid. The name of the colloid or the type of a colloid, this is called a solid sol. This is called a solid sol. And the example is some gemstone, colored glass like this. So example also you can remember and the type also you can remember. Similarly, solid liquid, sol, solid gas, aerosol, liquid solid, gel, liquid emulsion, liquid gas, aerosol, gas solid, solid sol, and gas liquid, that is foam. So, on the basis of this physical state of dispersed phase and dispersal medium, colored are of how many types? 8 types. Okay, phase, medium, type, and example also you will remember. Clear now? So, this is called the first type, that is classification based on the basis of physical state of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, then second type is classification based on nature of interaction. So nature of interaction, colloids are of two types. Okay, one is called your lyophilic, PHILIC, lyophilic and lyophobic. Lyophilic colloid and another one is lyophobic colloid. So lyophilic means solvent loving and lyophobic means solvent hating. First you see one example. Suppose when egg albumin is dissolved in water. So you see egg albumin, this is a protein and we know protein is also is a amino acid. So that's why egg albumin is highly soluble in water. So when egg albumin is dissolved, yes or no? So in amino acid, carboxylic acid and amine part is and dipolar in nature. So that's why it is what? Soluble. So this is called lyophilic. But when you take water and suppose you take solute as a sulfur. So when sulfur dissolve in water, whatever amount you will take, and in different process also if you want to mix also, sulfur never dissolve in water. That means this is called solvent hating. This is called lyophobic colloids. Clear? So lyophilic colloid and lyophobic colloid. And you see, this is very, very important. Okay, example, definition, difference, reasoning question will come. Understood? So lyophilic colloids and lyophobic colloids, difference part how can we remember? So you see, difference between lyophilic colloid and lyophobic colloid. Lyophilic colloid and lyophobic colloid. So you see, lyophilic colloid can be prepared easily by shaking or warming, whereas lyophobic colloid cannot be prepared easily. It needs some special technique. So lyophilic colloid, take water, egg, albumin, add simple shaking, we can prepare colloidal solution. Yes or no? Take water, your starch powder, shake it, we can prepare. But sulfur water never dissolve, gold water never dissolve. So they need some special technique. Understood? So that's why lyophilic prepare easily, lyophobic cannot prepare easily. It needs some special technique. Then lyophobic are more stable. Lyophilic is more stable. Lyophobic is less stable. This is reversible. It is irreversible. So you see, suppose when take egg albumin or what starch in water, after shaking, can egg albumin settle down? No. So that's why it is stable. But you see, lyophobic, it cannot prepare easily. So that's why it settled down. So it is more stable. Lyophobic less stable. These are reversible. That means we can separate easily. So you see, so when we take water, egg, albumin, heat it, water and egg are separated. Yes or no? Means egg albumin converted into bhujia. Understood? So that's why, so we can separate easily. So its preparation is very difficult. Its separation is also very difficult. Clear now? Then viscosity is much higher than that of solvent. its viscosity is similar with that of solvent. Surface tension is usually low. Surface tension is almost same that of solvent. Cannot be easily coagulated, can be easily coagulated. Coagulated means it can be settled down easily, it cannot be settled down. Coagulation means settle. We will read after this also. Okay, so this is called a coagulation. So lyophilic can be coagulated easily, lyophobic cannot be coagulated easily. Particles have little or less charge, particles have some characteristics charge. These are highly solvated, means highly soluble, these are less solvated. Okay, then it does not require any stabilizing agent, but it needs some stabilizing agent. So stabilizing agent means suppose when you take water and egg albumin after shaking, then it cannot settle down, so it is quite stable. So that's why this part it does not require any stabilizing agent. But you see, take suppose water or oil, shake it for a few minutes, the solution seems to be colloidal, but after some time it make into two separate layers. So that's why it is unstable. So we need some stabilizing agent so that it does not allow to make them into two separate layers. Understood? So that's why lyophilic and lyophobic colloid, so many differences are there. So you can remember this part. Understood? So this is the meaning of lyophilic and lyophobic. So nature of interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium, that colloids are of two types, which is called philic and phobic. And you remember, when solvent is water, then sometimes it is also known as hydrophilic. So when question will come, what do you mean by hydrophilic? You never write it is solvent loving, you will write water loving. So hydrophilic means solvent is water. Yes or no? Hydrophobic means solvent is also water. So water loving, water hating. Got the idea? So this is the second part, that is colloids are of two types on the basis of nature of interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Clear now? Then third classification is on the basis of particle size. On the basis of particle size, colloids are of three types. Okay, first one is called your multimolecular colloid. Huge molecules are present. Multimolecular colloids. Second is your macromolecular colloid. And third one is your associated colloid. Associated colloid. So first is, what is the meaning of multimolecular, what is the meaning of macromolecular, and what is the meaning of associated colloid? Very, very important for board exam as well as also NEET or JEE Main exam. Clear now? So that's why you see, first one is, what is the meaning of multimolecular colloid? So from the name, multi means large number of particles are present, and when they segregate together to form a colloidal solution. Means particle size are very small. That's why large number of molecules are present in the colloidal, in the solution, and make it colloidal solution. Clear now? That's why it is called a multimolecular. But macromolecular colloid means in this colloidal solution, particle size are very big and they aggregate together to form colloidal solution. Clear? So multimolecular colloid, here the particle size or atoms are very small and large number of molecules are aggregated together to form this species having colloidal solution. Sulfur salt, gold salt, these are in this category. Okay, multimolecular colloid, that is your sulfur salt. Okay, then gold salt, these are under this category. Particle size are very small, large molecules are required to form colloidal solution. But macromolecular colloid means, you know, macromolecule, biomolecules, protein, gum, starch, cellulose. Yes or no? So when these are, you know, suppose in our home, when we are preparing different types of, suppose your chicken curry, suppose. So when we are preparing your chili chicken gravy, suppose. So after preparing what is chicken, in the last what we'll do, so in a bowl we'll take some amount of water and we'll add a half spoon or 1 spoon corn flour powder. After this, then we'll put in the what curry and then we'll make a gravy. But you see, in this part, by chance, in place of suppose half spoon, if we'll add 5 or 6 spoon of corn flour, then what will happen? In place of gravy, what it will make halwa. Yes or no? Why? Because corn, it is a macromolecule. So if your particle size is very large, again we are adding also more amount. So that's why it not form a colloid. Directly it form what? It forms suspension. So that's why in macromolecular colloid, particle size are very large. So that's why very less number of molecules are required to make a colloidal solution. That's why when you are preparing any starch solution, yes or no, or corn flour powder, soup also. So this much in suppose in 1 liter water, half spoon or 1 spoon is enough to make the water. This is soup. Okay, why? Because particle size is very large. Understood? So this is the meaning of your macromolecular, and first one is multimolecular colloid. Clear? But third one is, what is the meaning of associated colloid? This is very, very important. So associated colloid means you are thinking like this, sir, association takes place, hence it forms a colloidal solution. No. Associated colloid, first we see the example, then I will explain why it is called a associated colloid. So in the associated colloid, first example is, you see, suppose in a bucket, yes or no, we'll take water, and in this water suppose some dark particle is present, yes or no, cloth suppose contain dark particle, and when we are adding soap, you know, C17H35COO, this is sodium stearate. So in this part you have read like this water, total how many carbon? 17 carbon, so COO minus, and that is Na plus. Na plus is, so when soap is dissolved in water, yes or no, containing a cloth dark particle, that means what? Grease suppose. So in normal water, if you wash, this grease water never got washed. So when soap or detergent is added, then it is easily separated. How? So when this sodium stearate soap is added, you know this is called head part. Yes or no? This part is called tail. Head, tail. Head is polar, tail is non-polar part. Clear? So polar means this is lyophilic part, non-polar means this is lyophobic part. Understood? So when this soap added to this water, yes or no, then this is normal water, it is not washed, means this part is also non-polar. Okay, so when soap is added, you know, soap molecules are like this. These are carbon tail part, and this is head part, CO minus, CO minus, CO minus, CO minus, like this. So it forms a ionic cluster which is known as a micelles. This part you know in 10th class also you read. But here you will see, so when soap or detergent is added, then formation of the micelles takes place, and in this micelles, yes or no, due to this association, this is also non-polar, this part is also non-polar. So non-polar, they associated with each other, so that its mass increases, and that particle will easily come out and it will settle down due to gravity. Clear? This part you have read, but come to associated. So you see, suppose if you will take water, 1 liter water, and if you will add little amount of suppose detergent, yes or no, then the micelle will never form. Suppose in the market that 2 or 3 rupees Ariel or Surf Excel powder is available, and in that pouch one instruction is there, take suppose 5 to 6 liter water, add that one pouch 20 gram and 5 to maximum 6 cloth, so that it can wash properly. So you see, instead of this 6 liter water, if you take one bucket of water, 10 liter water, yes or no? The water wash means cloth will not properly washed. Why? So that's why the concept is here. So first one is, so that at a minimum concentration, the minimum concentration at which that formation of a micelles takes place. Minimum concentration is required. So minimum below this concentration, this water micelles do not take place. Understood? So that's why these are the colloids which at low concentration it behaves like a strong electrolyte. Because you see, CONA, this is one salt. So at low concentration it behaves like a strong electrolyte, and at high concentration it behaves like a colloid. This is known as associated colloid. This definition we have to write. Clear? So low concentration behaves like a strong electrolyte, and high concentration it behaves like a colloidal solution. This is known as associated colloid. Understood? Then next is a particular concentration above which formation of a micelles takes place. This is known as critical micelles concentration. So the minimum concentration is required. That's why given the example that 6 liter water, 1 pouch surfexcel, so that water the cloth will wash properly. So this is called, so minimum concentration below which micelle will never form. So the minimum concentration above which formation of micelles takes place, this is known as CMC, critical micelles concentration. Clear now? Similarly, another example you see, all of you know this because normally we are washing the cloth in here in washing machine. So washing machine in all season your washing part will be same. But in a normal outside, you know, in summer season, and if you compare with winter season, in summer season the washing will be more easier than in the winter season. Why? Because in the winter season temperature is very less. So due to less temperature, so that your formation of micelles never takes place. It is very difficult. So that's why the minimum temperature, a particular temperature above which formation of micelles takes place, this is known as Kraft temperature. Okay, Kraft, symbol is TK. Kraft temperature. So the temperature above which formation of micelles takes place, then this is known as your Kraft temperature. Understood? So what is associated colloid? Low concentration behaves like strong electrolyte. High concentration behaves like colloid. This is known as associated colloid. The minimum concentration above which formation of micelles takes place, this is known as CMC, critical micelles concentration. Similarly, the temperature above which formation of micelles takes place, this is known as Kraft temperature. Clear? So next is preparation of colloidal solution. So preparation of colloidal solution, we know two types of colloidal solution. One is called lyophilic and another one is called lyophobic. So lyophilic colloid can be prepared easily. I told, suppose if you take water and take egg albumin, so after simple shaking we can prepare. So lyophilic colloid prepared easily by simple method. Yes or no? By simple shaking or by simple warming also, stirring also, we can prepare lyophilic colloid. But lyophobic colloid cannot be prepared easily. It can be prepared by following method. That means it needs some special technique. So lyophobic colloid can be prepared by following three methods: a chemical method, electrical disintegration method, which is also known as Bradig's arc method, and third one is peptidization. Very important, especially 1 and 3. So how by chemical method we can prepare colloidal solution. Second, by electrical disintegration method, how we can prepare colloidal solution. Always will remember, chemical method means chemical equation. Means chemical equation we have to remember. So how chemically, how we can, by chemical method, how can we prepare colloidal solution? Suppose first one is your arsenide sulfide salt, how can we prepare? So As2O3 plus 3H2S double decomposition, so it gives rise to AS2S3. This is your salt plus 3H2. So this is your, so in the exam question will come how this salt can be prepared. So we have to write the chemical equation. Okay, so when arsenic oxide and H2S gas react, then by double decomposition method we can prepare this sulfide salt. Similarly, another one is when SO2 plus 2H2S, okay, then oxidation it gives rise to sulfur salt plus water. So in the question, suppose question will come like this: how the sulfur salt can be prepared easily? So in the very beginning I told sulfur cannot dissolve in water, so it is lyophobic. But you see in chemical method, when sulfur dioxide and H2S gas, yes or no, they react, then they form sulfur salt. So like this, your chemical method, by chemical method we can prepare colloidal solution. Similarly, third one is when gold chloride react with formaldehyde. When gold chloride react with formaldehyde and water, then it forms gold salt. Au plus formic acid plus HCl. So this is our gold salt. So gold salt can be prepared by this method. Understood? So double decomposition method, oxidation method, and this is your reduction method. Similarly, another one is FeCl3 when react with water. Your FeCl3 when it react with water. Hydrolysis method it gives rise to FeOH3 salt plus your side product is water, your HCl. So this is our salt. Got the idea? So these are four different chemical methods by which we can prepare colloidal solution. Lyophobic colloidal solution. Understood? So this is arsenic sulfide salt, sulfur salt, gold salt, ferric hydroxide salt. Okay. So when the question will come, direct we have to write the equation. So this is our first method by chemical method. Second one is by electrical disintegration method. So or by Brady's arc method. How can you prepare lyophobic? You see, first example, suppose this is one container. Suppose you take two metal, okay, and you choose suitable solvent. Suppose this metal you have to dissolve in this solvent, but normal metal when dipped inside the solvent, the metal never dissolve and it never form colloidal solution. But how can we make colloidal solution by this technique? So arc means here we can connected with one filament, and here we will pass electricity. So when we pass electricity, suppose one is positive and another one is negative, this arc, this filament will glow. So when the filament will glow, it produces large amount of heat energy. So when it produces large amount of heat energy, yes or no? So these two metal undergoes decomposition. So when it undergoes decomposition, this metal mix with this solvent and make colloidal solution. So this is called your electrical disintegration or Brady's arc method. And here you see it produces very large amount of heat energy. That's why by chance container will break. So the outside you see, the outside it is filled with ice. It is filled with ice so that it control the large amount of heat energy which one is produced by this method. Clear now? So this is called by electrical disintegration method. Any metal, yes or no? When it is suppose normal method, it does not dissolve in the solvent, but when we join with an arc, pass electricity, it undergoes decomposition and goes to the solvent and form the colloidal solution. Clear now? This is our second technique. Then third technique is, what do you mean by peptidization? What do you mean by peptidization? Okay, so by peptidization method also we can prepare colloidal solution. First I am giving some example. You have seen, suppose when you are taking any injection, you have seen in one small bottle, one small cc, one small powder is, little amount of powder is there, and in another bottle one liquid is there. So what actually doctor, what they actually mix them with each other? So what a doctor will do first? Now he will take this solvent first from the one bottle with the help of syringe. Then this solvent will inject in this another bottle which contain the powder. After this what? He will shake this, then it will make a colloidal solution. After this we will take through the what? Means syringe, and we will inject in our blood, because blood is also a colloidal solution. This is the best example of a peptidization. So that's why, what is the meaning of a peptidization? You see, in the first bottle, solid substance is there, powder is there. Another bottle, suitable solvent is there. So when a precipitate is converted into colloidal solution, is known as peptidization. Again, when a precipitate is converted into colloidal solution, is known as colloidal solution. Is known as peptidization. And its reverse is called coagulation. Means the process in which colloidal solution is precipitated, this is known as a coagulation. Understood? So, what is peptidization? Again, so it is defined as the process of converting a precipitate into a colloidal solution by shaking it with a dispersion medium in the presence of small amount of that little electrolyte. This is called a peptidization, and the electrolyte is called a peptidizing agent. So the electrolyte is called a peptidizing agent. Clear now? Okay, so these are the three methods by which we can prepare lyophobic colloid. Chemical method, by electrical disintegration method, and third one is by peptidization method. Clear? Next part is your purification of a colloidal solution. Okay, purification of a colloidal solution. So colloidal solution can be purified by three techniques. So first one is dialysis. Okay. Second one is electrodialysis, and third one is by ultrafiltration paper or ultrafiltration method. So dialysis, electrodialysis, and ultrafiltration. First, what is the meaning of dialysis? Normally, we are familiar with this word dialysis. Those who are in biology, we have read in biology that what do you mean by dialysis? You know what kidneys do in our body. Kidney do dialysis. So here, colloidal solution, how it can be purified. But you see, suppose if we will take milk, we know milk, it is a colloidal solution of fat and water. So if we will take swan, yes or no, swan will water only drink the milk, and it what means fat part it will take and water part it will left. So in chemistry we cannot write that how milk can be purified, it can be purified by swan. No. So in chemistry, how can we do or how can we separate the colloidal solution? Okay, suppose one example. When we are drinking milk, we are adding some what? Sugar. By chance, suppose in milk, in place of sugar, you have added suppose salt. So how can we separate salt from milk? Normally in domestic method it is very difficult. So how it can be separated? You see, it can be separated by dialysis technique. So in the dialysis you see, suppose you take one container which one is SPM. That outer wall is SPM container, semi-permeable membrane container, and it is filled or it is dipped with one water tank. Here the water is coming to this container, and here the water is outlet, and this is inlet. Okay, here is water. Inside this is what? Inside this is milk plus salt. Salt means sodium chloride. So when the water will flow, you know, in solution chapter we have read the SPM. It can allow the Na plus and Cl minus ions because its particle size is very small. So when the water will flow, both the Na plus and Cl minus ion will come into the solution, yes or no? And then milk will be present inside the water, inside the SPM container. But this process is very slow. So this process is known as a dialysis. So dialysis normally takes place in this format. This method is very slow. So to make this process very fast, so you see, so here you see, here when the water will flow, Na plus and water Cl minus will come out, and when the water is in flowing condition, both the Na plus and Cl minus will be separated. But this process is slow. That's why you see when we connected with one wire with, if you and you will apply electricity, suppose this is negative electrode and this is positive electrode, yes or no? So whatever Na plus is present inside this container, all Na plus will be attracted towards negative electrode, and all negative ions are attracted towards this positive electrode. That, yes or no? So that's why 100% that your all salt will be removed from the container, and water is in flowing condition. So that's why both the cation and anion will be separated. So remember, so dialysis process is very slow. To make the process faster, yes or no, dialysis is carried out in the presence of electricity. So this is known as electrodialysis. Clear now? Next is, what is the meaning of ultrafiltration? Ultrafiltration means, you see, first I will give some example. So in the normal filter paper you have seen, that is called Wattman filter paper, which is present in our lab. So if you will take the filter paper, put inside the funnel, yes or no? So if you will add milk and salt, this is solution, put in the funnel, everything will be what? Everything will be transferred to the beaker. That means nothing will be left over the filter paper. Because why? Because in that filter paper, particle size, the particles means whole size, filter paper whole size is very big. So that's why what we will do, take this normal filter paper, dip inside starch solution, okay, keep it for some time, and take this filter paper and dry it in the micro oven. Then after this, the filter paper will be little hard. You know, in your home, suppose when your mother is giving some starch in your cotton cloth, you know, in the water you will add some revive, or in normal in Odia, you know, Torani, it is available in our house. So Pejum. So if you, that is also for starch. So if you add starch in water and if you put water cotton cloth, then after some time what will happen, because in the cotton cloth whole size is very large, when we put inside the starch water, starch will be accumulated in this hole, so whole size decreases. So here also same thing, when starch paper, when filter paper dipped inside this starch, so the starch paper now what whole size decreases. So in this part, if you add the solution, yes, only small particle will allow, because Na plus Cl minus particle will what transferred with the help of water, and rest fat part will be remain as a residue over the filter paper. This is called ultrafiltration technique. Understood? So that's why your colloidal solution can be purified by three different technique. Which one is called? First one is your dialysis, then electrodialysis, and next is ultrafiltration. Understood? Clear now? So remember this theory, definitions, and examples. Okay.